Hey, what's up guys? How we doing? I am back. I got a fun video today. This is racers that won a race and they're not the guy. Like all of a sudden, just unexpectedly out of the blue, these are your most strange race wins. And I also want to tell you guys, check out New Moon Crypto. They're coming on as a new sponsor. The link will be in the description. And yeah, I appreciate it. Remember, subscribe. And listen, I know you guys hate subscribe, like, blah, 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 all the YouTube bullcrap. Problem is, 79% of the viewers of my videos don't subscribe. So it doesn't help them get pushed out. But anyway, if you're watching it and you subscribe, I definitely appreciate it. Those of you who are already subscribed, just block me out. Just ignore it. Pretend like this section didn't happen. But let's get into this list of, well, this is going to be a two-parter. This is 10 riders. This is 10 through 6. And then the other part will have 5 through 1. So at the end of this, let me know what you think of these 5. Then also tell me who you think the top 5 are going to be. So we'll check it out, guys. Here we go. Number 10 on my list is a guy who I really like. He's such a badass. He's so laid back. I don't even think he understands how talented he actually was. He's a Southern California guy, Jeff Willow. If you'll remember, at the 1996 San Diego Supercross, Jeff came out of nowhere. And this is a year when he's racing against Pedro Gonzalez, Greg Schnell, Casey Johnson, Kim Ashikazi, Travis Preston, Mike Metzger, Casey Lytle. I mean, this field was stacked. It was a pretty stacked field at the time. We're like, damn. And then out of nowhere, he hasn't got any podiums, and Jeff Willow takes home the win. I got a hold of Jeff and I said, Jeff, what was it about this day that made it so special? And he's like, honestly, I don't know. I was just talking to my friends and I was seeing what we're going to do that night, and then I went out and just won. I was like, damn. So I tried to find some footage on YouTube. I couldn't find any. I found some pictures, but I'm going to do an upcoming podcast with Jeff, and we're gonna walk through his career and just his ups, downs. Super talented, why it didn't go to the next level. He had a lot of success. He raced in arena cross. He raced a lot of stuff. Now he comes out and busts out works races every once in a while, and I believe he was riding an SSR and just smoking people. But yeah, that's Jeff Willow. One bad dude, and he took home the 1996 San Diego Supercross. Number 9 on the list is one of my all-time scariest human beings to be in the vicinity of. Rocket Rex Staton. For those of you who know him and know what I'm talking about, this is a scary human being. When I saw him, it was at Golden State Nationals around 89, 90. He's riding, Open Pro, Vet Pro, and just this gruff cowboy looking, I'm not gonna lie, I was like 12, 13 years old, and he scared the shit out of me. I was definitely, and then my dad told me how badass he was. He beat a guy up on national TV, which he absolutely did. But Rocket Rex Staton, this vet rider that I knew at the Golden State Nationals in the 90s, won the 1979 Daytona Supercross. And listen to some of the list of the guys that are in the race with him. So if it wasn't just like a weak field. JoJo Keller, Jimmy Ellis, Rick Burgett, a young rider named David Bailey riding a Bull Taco, Ron's son, Arlo England, Brian Myerscough, Mark Barnett, Jim Gibson, Brock Glover, Donnie Hansen, Chuck's son, the second fastest of the Sun brothers. Kid and Chuck, I love you. Mike Bell, Marty Smith. Like, that's a stacked field. Like, Jimmy Weiner, Daryl Schultz, Jeff Ward, Warren Reed, Marty Tribes. They were all in that race. So you can't tell me it was just a fluke. You don't win against that many good guys on a fluke. So yeah, Rocket Rex Staton, number 9 on the list. Number 8 is a guy who rode Amateur Day. This is the very first Supercross in the history of Supercross, the Super Bowl of motocross. Marty Tribes was like 15. I think he turned 16 like the day of the race, or they let him fudge it. I don't know what it was, but he goes out there with this weird style where it's funny, nowadays everyone's going to the feet on the pegs. Marty Tribes was a feet on the pegs type guy and wins his first Supercross. Now this may have been a kiss of death because You know, he appears on one of my other lists as wasted talent, but he shocked the world when he won that Supercross. I mean, really? Your very first big, this is like just signing up and winning the 450 Supercross. Like, are you serious? And it's almost even bigger than that because it was like the first one ever. Yeah, it is pretty cool. Number 7 on the list. We all know him. We all love him. Justin Brayton. He won 2018 in Daytona. Now, going into this race, he's known as a Supercross specialist who probably goes to Daytona to just get through the race and get onto a track where he might win or have a better performance. Somehow, he reached deep in and he took down. It was a year when Marvin Musquin and Eli Tomac were winning everything, and it was pretty much those two guys. Well, both guys had issues early in the main event, which gave him the lead, but it didn't matter. When Tomac went beast mode, I mean, he dropped 4 or 5 seconds a lap and just caught everybody. But Brayton did something with two or three laps to go that nobody thought was possible. He dropped his lap times a couple seconds and kept Eli at bay. And then it almost like Eli's charge stalled when he did this. And Brayton, with his mechanic and buddy of mine, Tony Berluti, got the win at Daytona in 2018. That was amazing. Now, heading to number 6 on the list. John Dowd and Doug Henry. I'm counting these guys as one because what they did at the 1991 Hangtown race, yes, it was muddy. Yes, it had a water crossing that probably could have drowned somebody. The race probably should have been called, but it wasn't. The race took place. And a funny story, the guys all wanted to boycott the race. So a bunch of old timers, there was an old timer race. You know, they do some different races, 2-stroke races and stuff along with the nationals. Well, the old timers are like, screw this, we're going out there. So the old timers went out there on the track and raced. And like Howell, Stanton, Bale, and all these guys, well, if the old timers can go handle it, we're too big of pussies to do it. So they went out and raced. And man, it was a disaster. I would say the old timers were just savage and they probably should have just stopped this race. It was more of a survival. It wasn't necessarily a race. Jean-Michel Bale probably could have won, but he knew all the other competitors that he competes with in the points. And this is only a 5-round series at the time, 5 or 6 rounds. So it was like half the outdoors because then they switched to 500s. So if he could get a 1-race lead, oh my gosh, that's gigantic in a half round, like a short series like that. So he started just playing it safe. And he would stop before the water crossing, wait until he got a clearance, and then just blast through it. Well, John Dowd comes up on him and goes, dude, I just want to win the race, so get out of my way. And he just moves right past Bale. And Bale's just like, whatever, I'll win a race some other time, but I want this title. And that's what it ended up happening. That's what took him to his race. Doug Henry, he battled hard with Southern California trainer, agent / all-around badass dude, Buddy Antunez. Buddy Antunez, SoCal's own, short legs, everything going against him in a mud race, yet he almost wins the muddiest race that I've probably ever seen. The one that should have been canceled, that had a water crossing. But Doug Henry got him. Budman held on for second, and Debo, Denny Stevenson. You know, it's funny for these guys that kind of act like partiers and hard asses. When the going gets tough, those two are up there 2-3. Couple of badasses. So good on them. And so number 6 on my list is 2 guys. They share the list because they're both New Englanders. They both did it on the same day. History will say that's the only time in both classes that a privateer has won. There's been wins from privateers, but not 125 and 250 on the same day. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 will be on the list. And let me know what you think of this, 10 through 6. So thanks, guys, and